Urban Arts is an amazing program because I definitely feel as though there is a barrier to accessing technical education. And Urban Arts definitely works to break that barrier and give underrepresented minorities access to this higher education.
Greetings everyone and welcome to the UAP Mario Maker 2 Invitational, where the next competitors are Mazer iiPK and Doomsday31415, and we are representing the UAP charity. So Avalon, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're coming up to the end game of this tournament now. So this is the winners final, and the next game is the losers final to determine who's going to actually be in the grand final for this tournament. But like you said, we're actually here for the UAP, which is the Urban Arts program. It's a great little program that's building up to give those kids that don't have the background. They come from areas where the resources just aren't in place, and it gives them that opportunity to go and do something before college that can help them get that scholarship based on their merit and their intelligence, and it gives them that chance to go and do something they've always wanted to do. You know, they've actually had their students go on to collect $5 million worth of scholarships based on the students' merits just by setting up this opportunity for them and giving them the chance to go forward. That's 250,000 students and more that they've helped go into these STEM fields.
Aren't those crazy numbers? So if you're wondering what that looks like, it's not just some random number out there. It is this organization creating classes for these students to study after school, and they're teaching them through game design, how to do graphics, how to do coding, how to write stories for games, how to do all those things that we love in a game. And they're setting this up for children from grades 6 to 12 so that they have a better chance of getting into technical fields when they grow up, when they're getting into college and all that kind of thing. So it's a really amazing organization that's making a real difference to kids right now. So it's a great cause to support. And if you want to feel purely selfish, you can do it either for the great games we're going to see in the future, or there's an amazing raffle that the charity has set up. Right now, we have just hit the $3,000 stretch goal, where a Nintendo Switch Lite is added to the raffle pool. For every $5 you donate, you get one raffle ticket, and that is entered. We right now have the Switch Lite available, as well as 2 Super Mario Maker 2 games, the digital version, as well as 1 Pro controller. Those are all in the raffle pool, and all it costs is $5 to get a ticket, or if you donate $50, that's 10 tickets. So it's a really great opportunity for everyone involved here.
Yeah, and I mean, as people put more money into this raffle as well, we're going to get closer and closer. When we hit that $4,000 mark, we're going to chuck in another Switch Pro controller into the raffle. There's more prizes there. So if you put in your $5 now, and then, you know, another group of people do the same thing, much like the math that's going on in the chat at the moment, we're going to get some prime numbers, we're going to get some prizes. They might be negative prime numbers, who even knows? What we do know is that we have a really interesting match here between iiPK and Doomsday Pi. Now, you'll notice at the very, very beginning of this, Doom immediately skipped a level, and it was literally as soon as he opened it, but iiPK actually beat that level and is now making his way through the speedrun, finding the same cheese that Doomsday found when he did it himself.
Yeah, and Doomsday looks like he's kind of in a waiting game here, where he's bopping off these cannonballs, dodging spiny shelmets, and hoping he's going to get through this waiting game. And iiPK taking the clear on that level. He is now 2 clears to 1. And yeah, moving on to the next. Oh no, Doomsday got his clear, so it's tied up. The only thing that's different is Doomsday has used one of his precious skips. The format for this is that each competitor must clear as many levels within the 20-minute time limit, and they only have 5 skips for levels. And once they run out of skips, they have to play what is offered to them by the game.
Yeah, and the way these levels have been generated is that some of us have gone on to a super expert run Sorry, just an expert run, not super expert. Made our way through it, and anything with a world record of 90 seconds or less, we've given it a like, chucked it in a playlist, and that's what our runners are facing. So it's as close to random as we can possibly make it whilst they go through the same levels. So it's going to be interesting to see how valuable the skip that Doomsday took is actually going to be for the rest of this race. It could end up being the big difference, as he's now starting to gain a slight lead with that faster level there, bringing up to 3-2. And iiPK just making his way through a level that Doomsday has gone through, and there's the goal for that one too.
So now they're all tied up again, and as Avalon mentioned, these levels can be anything. They can be speedruns, they can be tech levels, they can be troll levels, and various other things. And it's up to our runners' judgment which ones they want to spend time on and not. Because as we all know, a world record is not the same as when you play it first time. It may take you 20 minutes to play it, and then you get the world record later. So our runners must use their best judgment, and that is part of the strategy of this game format.
Yeah, iiPK just pulling through that quick level as well, keeping this the score insanely close actually. He has taken himself ahead to 4 clears to 3, as I do not know what's going on the level that Doomsday's trying to get himself through. He shouldn't be Big
Like
Mario when he's
soft-locked.
there, but it's just a horrid looking level.
Oh dear. Yes, there's much going on, and none of it to Doomsday's liking, I think. He's gonna try to sneak into that area again. Oh, this would have been a hard skip from me, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but iiPK looks like he's going to be trying it as well. I mean, Doom, obviously, having taken that early skip, he's shown he's willing to skip aggressively. Will he carry on with that attitude, or is he just going to try and force his way through this?
iiPK taking a different route through the level, trying to find some stuff. He found the key, which is very well highlighted. Oh wow. And he takes the clear. Wow, Doomsday's been struggling on this level for the last few minutes, but iiPK just finds the solution instantly.
Yeah, that's actually huge. That puts iiPK ahead of Doomsday Pie in the level list, but also in terms of clears, where Doomsday took that early skip that I've mentioned several times. It actually puts iiPK at a huge advantage. He's now seeing new levels that we wouldn't have seen before. That was a lot of B's in that level title. It was like the Bouncy Bullet Bill or something like that. A real Jimothy level, that one. But
Indeed.
you know, Doomsday has now completed that level, but it is so much time spent on it, so much time wasted trying to get through it, when he's already shown he's willing to make aggressive skips. I wonder why he chose to not take that one.
Yeah, it is a very strange thing. The only thing I can imagine is maybe some amount of tunnel vision, or maybe some amount of he's already aggressively skipped and maybe he wants to save it. So we can only ask him in the interview what's going on with that. He is now on the same level as iiPK, and but iiPK has cleared it. You can see his reactions to that. Clearly thrilled at this, and he's moved up to 6 clears to 4.
Yeah, that certainly is a level. I mean, it seems okay if you can stay on top of these launchers, but
Wow.
as soon as you miss one, as Doomsday just found out, then that is pretty much game over.
My goodness. Meanwhile, iiPK, wow, doing immediately skipping. Was that? I wonder what he saw that he didn't like.
Yeah, that was...
I just saw some lightning. He didn't die or anything. Maybe he kind of recognized it for a troll level or something. I wonder.
Yeah, of course. It is really interesting when runners do that. There's, you know, all of these levels have a world record of 90 seconds or less. So it is very interesting when you see a runner just go, oh, do you know what? I don't want this one. Like, what do they see that we don't?
Indeed. Their experience definitely informs them of that. And I'm really curious to ask iiPK why he skipped that one. I'm going to write that as a question to ask him later. I wonder if Doom is going to do the same thing. There he is on that level, but he is also skipping that level. Interesting.
Yeah, what is it about that level? I'm really not sure. What I am sure of, though, is that the one that iiPK is on right now is set up to look incredibly difficult. You must take Yoshi to the end, so you couldn't ditch him for that big jump. So you thought you would have to do the spring jump.
Wow.
That's not the spring jump, sorry, the shell jump. But there was in fact a hidden spring which Doomsday's just found himself, which is just cheeky. I hate levels like that where they've just hidden a block somewhere.
You mean you don't like looking through hundreds of tiles of blocks just randomly jumping up in the air?
I mean, at least that
Question
had a
mark?
small area it could have been.
Oh my. Oh, we're having the Yoshi fighting happening again. Oh my goodness. Chat, gonna let that stand. Also, Evens, are you gonna let that 22 cents stand all on its own in the cold and the dark and the loneliness? If you're an even number, you definitely got to make that zeros at the end of that donation amount because those 22 cents are looking lonely. Sad times.
Yeah, it must be really sad, you know? You just want to be a nice, cozy, circular hug of a 0. But instead, you're just bent out of shape like a 2.
Oh, rough times. Goodness me. How do they take it? How do they survive?
Okay, so iiPK now in a more traditional speedrun level, but he's not quite fast enough in getting across there. I thought he had more time than that, but Doomsday has lost his Yoshi in this...
Yeah, he's falling
What is
further
the
behind.
noise? Oh, it's all of the fire flowers above.
Yeah, they're singing to us. Wow, another quick clear from iiPK, putting him at 8-5 right now. That is a significant lead. And it's interesting because we saw Doomsday earlier beat the Beast. So I'm wondering if he lost a little bit of his mojo in between these rounds and what's going on, or if he's just having a bad run here.
Yeah, it's very weird to see Doomsday having any issues at all, really. He is an incredibly competent player. It's tough because, you know, you've got players like iiPK and the Beast that have these huge followings, whereas Doomsday has a much smaller following, but he has some really, really impressive stats. You know, in the normal seasons, when we have 15-minute sets, he'd clear, with ease, sort of around 8.7 levels every single set, which is just huge numbers, you know. Oh, to be fair, iiPK did have it higher, but they're still just really big numbers. He's a great player, so it is interesting.
Oh, this car level. Oh no.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Poor iiPK. Oh, had it all the way at the end and it didn't quite stay on the ledge. Hopefully he can bounce it back up a little bit further on. Because it is quite a distance, and poor Toadette has a big headache from getting this heavy metal car bounced on her poofy little head. Oh dear.
Yeah,
but iiPK, interestingly, not skipping this.
No.
That's a surprise to me.
I've seen items where levels where you have to juggle items before, but never a car. This is definitely a new mechanic, and I wonder if that's maybe why he's skipping it. Maybe he's thinking, this is quite interesting, I want to do this, but here we are.
Seems to have a bit of a weird hitbox, where sometimes she hits it and sometimes not. It just kind of like goes through her, which probably is causing the massive frustration on his face that he's feeling. You can see the emotions that he's feeling, and he's like really focused now, like, okay, gotta get this darn car there. There must be something with the, I don't know, hitting it at the end or at the beginning, or maybe as she's jumping up or something like that. And iiPK gets it on this last try. Really excited. Finally getting this thing. Good.
I can't believe that. I don't understand why they're not skipping this level. I mean, don't get me wrong, the concept's unique. I haven't seen it before, but being unique doesn't mean you're good. And being unique does not mean you're good for a race either. And granted,
maybe they feel they can win it,
but still. Ooh.
Wow, Doomsday at the very edge. He took so much less time to beat that level. He's actually closed the gap to only 1 point between them. Really impressive work from Doomsday there.
Yeah.
Let's see how he does in the next level. He could potentially catch up at this stage. Still 7 minutes left in this match, and if he plays well and iiPK does not, then Doomsday can actually win this.
Yeah, and being a typical speedrun level, this is what they would have practiced, but Doomsday is done with it. He is taking another skip. He is definitely not hanging around in levels he doesn't want to be in. He is using his skips so aggressively this game, dropping down to just 2 skips remaining with 8 clears.
Yeah, and a reminder, if you haven't seen this format before, if a player runs out of skips, they must play the levels and they are not allowed to go back or to go forward. They're not allowed to skip other levels. Even if it's a troll level, even if it's whatever they don't like, taking too long, they gotta play it if they have no more skips remaining. And that can really cause some massive issues for getting through levels quickly, especially if you land on a level you don't like.
Yeah, especially when Doomsday's just run out of skips and opened a level called My First Level. It's definitely not what you want.
Yay!
I didn't quite see the levels in between his chosen skips there, because he literally just skipped 3 in a row just immediately. So I don't know if it's going to end up being worth it, but as far as the first level goes, it just looks like it's taken inspiration from other things and then crushed him with saws.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept for a first level. I have a hard time believing that that is actually true. It's probably a meme name, because first levels don't usually have all those tracks and going different directions and things. That seems like a more advanced concept than for a first level. But
Yeah,
I could be wrong. You
does.
never can tell.
Oh, my word. Some donations have come in for us. So firstly, I am grateful for the generosity here, but I feel like this is a little bit targeted from Not Zelda. After me talking about how lonely the twos looked, and you just wanted to be a cuddly zero. Not Zelda has kindly added in at $22.22 to our fund. So we are getting a few more raffle tickets out, and we're getting a little bit closer to that next goal. So thank you so much for that, Not Zelda, but please stop.
Oh my gosh, and a hashtag Jimothy at the end. Well, we're going to have to do... Well, I think Doomsday is in danger of a Jimothy. And if you're not familiar with that term, it is one that GSA has been kind of coining as we've been commentating these matches of usually levels that have many, many enemies at random locations are made by some young children, possibly named Timothy, possibly named Jimmy, to which they kind of combined into one life form called a Jimothy.
I believe it was actually decided that their formal name on the birth certificate was, of course, Jimothy.
Was it Jimothy? Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Very good to know.
You've got people like iiPK. They might shorten their name to I, but Tim or Timmy and Jimmy could both be shortened from Jimothy, and that's how we got there. But there's some more clears on the board, so let's talk about that, because iiPK now on 11 clears with just 15 minutes, well, 16 minutes now gone. That's really, really rapid clear times there. You got to think, like I said, these world records are all around 90 seconds. And yes, these guys are setting new world records, but we're looking at, he's clearing about one level every sort of 70 seconds at the moment, which is just insanely fast.
Indeed, he still has one skip left, and he is ahead of Doomsday. Meanwhile, Doom is struggling a little bit. He's got 9 clears to his name, still 2 behind, but he's working it, and I guess he's chosen his levels because he has to play every one of them after this point.
Yeah, there could be a troll level coming up that iiPK could see and go, oh, that's got DGR in the name, and have nothing to do with it, but Doomsday's going to have to wake his way through it.
Do you mean you didn't get rid of the DGR levels?
These are not my fault anymore. Thank you very much. You can stop blaming me for this level creation. So the levels have been curated by going through an endless expert run, and anything with a world record of 90 seconds or less has been added to a playlist for our runners to go through. It's to simulate the randomness of the old seasons, but also to have them run the same levels to actually directly compare their skills.
Oh, and Doomsday suffering at the hands of those on-off blocks. They're diving deep into the pit. Needs to run a little bit faster and get through this. iiPK is ahead of him, and he has more clears. This is looking really difficult to win for Doomsday.
Yeah, more clears, more skips, and a not very pleasant indicator for that PAL throw. If you iiPK when he did this level, he threw the PAL early, because if you throw it where the indicator is, you'll find that the thwomp will hit the on-off switch and you will fall to your death. It's not for the POW isn't for the muncher, it's for the thwomp. There you go, Doomsday got it that time.
He got it. All right. Oh no! Oh, that was the worst thing.
That was
He
heartbreaking.
tripped. Oh, so rough. No. Meanwhile, iiPK looking at a bunch of piranha plants that are shooting fire at him. Double piranhas. I feel like we're in a multi-headed situation here. That's an interesting boss fight here. We're not allowed to touch the ground.
Ooh.
Going back for the fire flower there from the pipe. Okay.
Probably a safe choice to make it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely more interesting than your typical boom boom fight there, having it over spikes. But Doomsday finally beating this on-off thwomp level, getting through his nemesis and then making his way onwards. But iiPK also clearing, keeping a 2-level clear gap between them.
The runners are allowed to watch the stream or each other's streams, but we don't know who is watching whom. So it's interesting to see if they take that into consideration, if they are watching the other scores, and how much pressure that's putting on them. But we don't actually know who's watching. So we'll see how far they get and if that pressure affects them here. iiPK coming upon an interesting level.
I think there's just a lot of general pressure as well. I mean, with the Beast already being knocked out, and he was one of the tournament favourites, every single match is now just a huge amount of pressure for these runners. You need to keep going and see if you can keep the momentum, especially for Doom as the person who knocked out the Beast. That's got to be a big cloud over your head.
Mm-hmm. But iiPK is not letting it affect him at all. He is just charging through this, powering through, and not intimidated by Doomsday at all.
Yeah, iiPK is always like this. He's just consistent. He knows what he can do, he knows what he can't do, but it doesn't matter who he's against. He plays against himself every time. And that's why he's such a consistent player. That's why he won Season 3. That's why he has a massive 9.6 levels per 15 minutes normally. It's, he's just an incredible player.
And it looks like he is going to take this match. All right, while we wait for the runners to come into our interview room, take their boxing gloves off and start to relax a little bit, we'll just, look at the scores here. We can see that iiPK finished with 13 clears to Doomsday's 11.
It'll be interesting to hear why Doomsday chose to skip quite so aggressively, to be honest, but we're going to get them both in here and get some of those questions. So, hello, Doomsday. Hello, iiPK. Thank you so much for joining us in this post game from the winners final. Obviously, Doomsday, you're aware of the score. It's 13-11 to iiPK. I just want to ask you about your skips, man. They were so aggressive. What led to such an aggressive skip sort of technique?
I realized I had a lot of time left with 4 skips left, and I wasn't really sure about it because at the end I was asking myself, do I have a skip or not? So if I would have known I had to skip, I would have skipped that last level I was playing. But I figured I had a lot of time and a lot of skips, and I saw a lot of 1-minute world record levels. So I was like, I might as well use my skips. These levels are too long.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was the one who was aggressive with the skips, though, iiPK, because I actually was forced to do the last 90-second level because I was out of skips. I skipped the 30-second speedrun because it had a really low clear rate, and I was like, well, maybe this is my chance to turn it around, and iiPK will just get stuck on it for 5 minutes or something. And then there were just tons of 90-second ones after that as well that I just skipped.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. You're talking about the snow one, right?
I don't remember what theme it was. It was like 30-second world record and a 1.4% clear rate or something.
Yeah, that one was tough. Yeah, I was thinking about skipping that one too, but like I needed to save my skips. I was like, just in case like towards the end we run into like a lot of 1-minute world record levels, like I would like to get a last second clear.
Yeah, being the underdog, I gambled the opposite direction. I was hoping you'd get stuck on that level and I would just not have to worry about using that skip. It didn't work out.
I got stuck on that car level. I almost first tried it, and then it turned into a whole minute or two of trying to get the car across.
Oh no! I guess that was where chat was like the comeback because I got it after like
the car level.
second try.
Because I got it across, but then I accidentally dropped it with my body.
Oh no!
And then like a whole minute later, I was doing it again, over and over.
That is rough.
I was panicking.
No, I had a rough start. Made some mistakes. I knew
that first level was rough.
Most likely behind after. I don't remember. The commentators might remember. Those first few levels.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
actually,
you almost caught up with doing the car level. I think you were even, maybe. But you were catching up at that point. But yeah, because of the skips and iiPK did play all those levels in the very beginning, he was a little bit ahead of you then. So it was, but you were quite close at the end. Quite close.
Did I have a skip left over out of curiosity?
Yes.
yes.
Oh my god, I didn't want to risk it. Oh.
Oh. No, I have one question for the both of you. There was one level that you went, I think it was a Grasslands themed Super Mario Brothers 1, where there was like a giant mushroom in there, and if you walked a little bit in, there was like a flash of lightning. You both skipped it immediately, and I didn't know why. What did you see in that level that was skippable for you, both?
World record.
Ah.
For me, it was the question mark in the title, and a title I can't read. So I thought to myself, this guy is probably hiding something, and he's asking us, where is it? So I was like, I'm not going to spend time looking for whatever it is.
Yeah, I was just going hyper aggressive with the skips in general to hope that maybe I would happen to skip levels that iiPK would get stuck on. That was probably my best chance of victory.
Yeah, the most notable one was that very, very first level, because apart from that, you guys were neck and neck for quite a large period, but because of that skip, you were like constantly just nipping at his heels the whole way through. And then, like say, the car level was very close to pulling it back, and then you skipped like 3 in a row, and it cost you with that speed run with the thwomp hitting the on-off switch, where you had to throw the POW not in the indicator.
Yeah, nowhere near the indicator.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, like, am I activating the thwomp too soon? Because like I was trying to pay really close attention, and I was like, wait, I could just throw this power block for it and kill him. Like, the indicator was so troll.
Yeah, I bonked so many times on that level. It wasn't funny.
Well, brilliant, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for a quick chat afterwards. We are going to go on to the final of the losers bracket, which will be between Lil Curbs and the Beast. And then the winner of that one is going to go through to our grand final.
Losers semis first.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Sorry, you're correct. He'll go through to the loser semis, who will then face Doomsday again, getting his another chance to go through to the grand final. My bad.
Yo, good luck
GG's
on the rest of
iiPK.
your run, dude. Yeah, good games.
I'll be back. Or I'll
I
send someone
believe
better.
it. You're on a tear today, dude. Keep it up.
You too.
Oh, we're great
Or
competitors.
don't,
Thank
actually.
you so
I
much.
still need to get my game against you. You owe me one game every match.
All right, sounds good. In grand finals, if you make it.
All right. Don't forget charity, guys.